Millin here from TeslaTaxi.com.au. We've recently had some people on our waiting list of cars for Uber drivers mentioning that they would be keen to get a lower bond and pay a small setup fee to get a car a bit sooner rather than saving up the full bond. Typically, we've been offering either a 4-week, 6-week, or 8-week bond for any cars going out to an Uber driver. However, we've recently introduced a program where we can charge a small setup fee and a much lower bond, as little as 1 to 2 weeks, depending on the state that this offer is valid in. So if you'd like to apply for any of these cars, you'll see here on this email some examples of cars that we've currently got available in Brisbane, Sydney and Melbourne, and we are looking at expanding our fleet to cover South Australia and WA shortly as well. The top car there is a Model Y, so at the moment we've got several Model Y cars available pretty much everywhere in Australia, and we've got a heap more on order as well. The lower car there is just a Model 3 that we can buy if we run out of cars, so that one there is selling second-hand for about 60,000. People that do want us to buy a Model 3 for them to get into an Uber car straight away will have to pay a larger setup fee. This particular quote for this particular driver was based on a $4,400 setup fee. However, if we've got cars in the fleet that we can allocate to your booking, I've quoted setup fees as low as $699 with reduced bond to other customers in Brisbane. And we are looking at expanding that service to Victoria shortly as well, as we will have some more cars arriving in Victoria very shortly. So if you'd like to get a quote for your particular driving needs, you can contact us via teslataxi.com.au and we can generate a quote for you. In general, there's always a valid time for the quote, which is usually 24 hours from when the quote is sent, and the deposit to actually hold the car is $500 as standard, and that does come off your setup fee or your bond. So for example, if it was a $699 bond, if it was a $699 setup fee, then your $500 would come off that, and then when you're ready to get the car, or when the car was ready for you, the remaining $199 would need to be paid at that point in time. So our standard deposit is always $500, and as I said, setup fees from $699 now to reduce your bond if you do want a lower bond. People that do want to pay the bigger bond can get a setup fee of $0, but obviously that is conditional of a minimum term of the contract. Typically that's at least a 26-week contract if you do want a $0 setup fee. But if you'd like to get a quote on your needs, just make sure you specify the amount of kilometres. Obviously, most drivers that are doing Uber full-time are up around 1,500 to 1,800 kilometres a week, and we do offer lower rates. We do offer lower rates for drivers that are doing it part-time. So if you want 800 to 1,200 kilometres per week, for example, your weekly rate might be up to $100 cheaper than someone that's actually doing the full-time kilometres of 1,500 to 1,800 plus per week. We do have even some drivers that are doing up to 2,400 kilometres per week, and they have a deal where they pay for their own tyres on those really high usage cars, so we can accommodate virtually all different parameters as far as the different ways you might want to get a car set up for your Uber needs. teslataxi.com.au or reach me via LinkedIn, Millin Bear. Thank you.